Now we will discuss the book 4. Book 4 is very interesting and useful. We will start our discussion from classifying the inventory. As a result of all our procurement, we will build up the inventories. Now inventories are really important, and we have to be very efficient in inventory management. By creating an inventory, of course, we are converting our cash into an idle asset, and if our selling strategies and our inventory management is not efficient, then we can put a great risk for our entity. So a lot of companies, they are using just-in-time inventory management systems in comparison with their traditional management inventories. Previously, there was a concept to build up a huge stock. For that, you need a huge space. You pay rent. If it is your own, you block a lot of money into. Then you need an accountant, an auditor, security, heating, lighting, utility bills, and a lot of expenses were related to it. That create a holding cost. So over the time, people has realized that we should use the latest system for material requirement planning. We should work on our master production schedules, and we try to minimize the inventory by adopting the lean production or just-in-time inventory management system. So in this chapter, we'll see what is an inventory, what is the reason for holding stock, and how can we manage customer services and inventory available for that. So a lot of important terminologies we are going to discuss. In the next chapter, for cost of inventory, first of all, we should know that what is the cost of inventory. So once we order any stock, this is an ordering cost. Then of course, if we are buying from America and it will be coming from a ship, so shipment cost, insurance cost, freight cost, then it reaches to a country's port, then customs clearance until it reaches to your warehouse. This all cost will be part of your inventory cost. So we'll see that how we initially calculate the cost of inventory, and then we will see how subsequently we are going to record the inventory. That will be a very good knowledge for procurement and supply chain department designations. We'll see how we value the stock inventory, the cost of holding inventory, the cost of acquiring inventory. So we'll see that it is a local purchase, is an international purchase, is it certain to have a stock, or we need to keep a buffer stock, a cushion stock, and what is the average supplying period from the supplier. A lot of important concept in terms of costing of inventory we will discuss. Moving forward, in the next chapter, we'll see what is the monitoring and control of inventory, Pareto analysis and ABC classification of inventory, dependent and independent demand. We'll see material requirement planning 1 and 2, just-in-time supply and Kanban systems, consignment stock, and VMIs. So these are some important terms, starting from just-in-time inventory management system. Then we have two words in we acquire from Japanese, Kanban and Kaizen. Kanban means ticket, so we use a lot of tickets during our processes. Withdrawal Kanban, production Kanban, vendor Kanbans. What are those? This is I am going to explain you shortly, and we'll see what is activity-based costing, what is marginal costing, what is variable costing, which one to use, which gives you the better results. Then of course we will see material requirement planning, so we'll make some sheets. We'll see like what to produce, how to produce, how much material to buy, when it will be ordered, when it will be arrive. This is for which customer need to be delivered on which deadline. These all important concepts that we are going to discuss in monitoring and control of inventory. Calculating demand for inventory, so we have some typical methods like economic order quantity. Suppose if I hire a container and I bring one iPhone in that, half or even full of the container is free, so it will give me per item a huge courier cost or logistic cost. So we have to see what is the economic order quantity. For that we have certain formulas as well. So we'll see what is the demand for inventory, usage, lead time, stock, replenishment system, economic order quantity, approaches to forecasting, so how we make budgets, how what is zero base, what is incremental, what are the different type of thoughts and concerns that we can have in order to have true calculations for inventory. It is a local supply, it's an international supply, how much time on average it take. We are traditional inventory management company, or we are using total quality management just in time. So all these factors will change your scenarios. This is we will discuss in detail. Warehouse locations are really important. Suppose you are an American company and you have make a warehouse in United Arab Emirates and you redistribute to Africa and some other countries. You have a warehouse in Far East who covers Australia. You have you are in Singapore, you are in London, you cover all the Europe from there. So you have to see your strategies in terms of warehousing. We'll see transport, accessibility and functionality, size and flexibility of the premises, cost issues in warehouse location, external factors affecting warehouse. So warehousing related issues, should you have a small warehouse, big warehouse, do you want to own your warehouse or you want to use a public warehouse or a third party facility? This is all we will discuss in this discussion. Stores and warehouse design. So what would be the better design where you can have more efficiency, effectiveness, and you can save yourself from unnecessary cost. So in this chapter we'll see what are the principles of warehouse designs, factor influencing warehouse layouts in order to get the maximum efficiency, positioning stock in the warehouse, flow of goods from the warehouse. So there should be a separate entrance for in, there should be a separate entrance for out, there will be tags placed, there should be a production floor, there should be a warehouse, and there should be some documentation, some control, some systems that will make the efficiency and effectiveness more higher. Product codings are really important for custom clearance, shipment. Every product has a code. So product coding, what are the type of coding, characteristics, order tracking technologies, barcodes, machines, equipment. This is what we will see in product cost coding chapter. Then of course we will discuss warehouse equipment. So depending on the type of inventory you have, you will select the type of equipments that you have. Sometimes we need huge cranes, sometimes we need trolleys, sometimes we need a motor, sometimes we need equipments to lift, and sometimes we have purification equipments. Depend on the type of industry that you operate into. So we'll see what are the storage equipment and system, how we handle the material system, principle of packaging, automation in warehousing. So where we are going to reduce the number of people and where we are relying on the machines, because machines work more faster, more efficient, and they are more reliable and they can work 24 hours without any issues. So the automation of the warehousing is growing day by day. This is a very important concept, that how to manage your warehouse. There are companies, they have huge warehouses, they are longer in miles and they are bigger in width, and they have number of items and they are distributing all over the world. So how they manage this is really an interesting concept. Once you have a storage, of course, you have to think about how to supply. So logistic is become very important. So we will see what are the type of logistics we have, which is more expensive, more costly. Of course, air freight is expensive, but it is faster. Ship is take more time, but it's cheaper. You can have a road transport. You can have other mean of sources. This is we have to see. Sea freight, air freight, road freight, rail freight, transportation, planning and modeling, reverse logistics. These are all transportation concept, when to use, how to use, what will be the cost of these. This is really, really important to understand for a procurement department, and they have to include these things in the policy. Then there are transportation documents. There is import and export, a letter of credit, documentation, international trade, electronic documents we can do. So it can be a letter of credit, so you are buying over, it can be a local LC, it can be the international LC. So what will be the terms and conditions, how LC will be settled, what will be the pro forma invoice, what set of documents are required, which is more cost effective, which can save money and save the burden. We have trust receipts, we have bill of landing, we have packaging documents. So there are a lot of shipping documents that day-to-day basis we encounter, and that will be discussed in this chapter. Incoterms are very important, so we'll see the role of International Chamber of Commerce, classification rules for sea, inland, waterway, transport. This will be very informative for you, and it can add value in your skills. Then we'll see the transport of freight. So unitization and containerization of load. You have 20 feet container, you have 40 feet. Intermodal transport, freight forwarders and custom agent, logistic and the environment. So how to procure a custom agent, how to procure a logistic agent, how important they are, what to negotiate with them, what things has to be taken in consideration. These all are very important, and this is what we are going to discuss in all this book.